flames, but they don't want to put anybody anybody in harm's way. Certainly not the firefighters, the first responders, but there it looks like there's a hole in that roof now. And once that burns out, if there's furniture inside or mattresses, those are like tinder boxes.
And linens.
Yeah, it just goes.
They sell all of that as well.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the photos from inside the store. They have bedding and mattresses. Of course, you'll see that there was a sale today, and there's linen.
So that's going to burn, and for a while. There is orange behind that smoke again.
So checking out their Facebook page, the Elegant Furniture and Linen Shop, it says we offer great prices from window shades to bed sheets to blankets to dressers, mattresses, and so much more. And inside, they have lots of different furniture styles, and of course, furniture. Wooden tables, elegant chairs, and dining room sets, coffee tables.
Stuff that burns, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
stuff that really burns. All right, so if you're just joining us on the stream, we're live with you. It's been a busy news night. We've been with this fire for almost 30 minutes now, and it started just as heavy smoke coming out of what we believe is a furniture/linen, just kind of as Cheryl was reading on their website what they have. It just has a lot of stuff, and unfortunately now that all appears to be burning, and I think that roof is gone, and you see the flames now. Yeah, can you guys see? It's just hard to tell, but that I think when we first saw it, it was a solid roof and there was just smoke, and now it's not good. They got a ladder on it from the front and then on the back too. Now we see 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and hard to see on the other side, but there's firefighters behind it also battling it. They are doing a good job of keeping it contained, if there's anything good about that. It hasn't spread.
Really important.
And look at that in the front now. Now we can see that facade again, and there's that glow of orange, which you never like to see.
Sparking up every time you see the white smoke when you think it's been contained, and it's, and then more of the red hot fires pops right back up.
Yeah, Elegant Furniture and Linen. Now that water is going to freeze pretty quickly, so it's going to be just a ice skating rink in front of all that.
It's only in the 20s right now, although it is getting warmer over the weekend. And I know, that's hard for the firefighters to,
they got to be careful.
Get good footing when they're standing there on the ground.
They're focused on fighting the fire, and sometimes we do see some minor injuries if these, like you said, these men and women will slip, or they're trying to get footing and they're not able to as the ice is over. It hasn't done that yet, we don't think, but now there's a lot of water on it, and they've doused the front. We don't see those open flames anymore, so that's good. And just a lot of firefighters also on standby. Some of the ones that are wearing white helmets are lieutenants or captains, so they are there. Obviously, the precinct captain or chief in charge would be there as well. I don't know if we can see some of them there.
Yeah, and some of the conditions that the firefighters are having to deal with right now is, it's not calm wind, right? But we do have a little bit of a breeze between about 10 and 15 miles per hour. Temperatures right now are near 20 degrees, so at least it is slightly warmer compared to where we were at this time yesterday.
Yeah.
So there is that, but they're having to deal with wind chill values still anywhere from the single digits to the low teens. So it's very cold. And yes, Rob, as you were saying, they have been throwing a lot of water on this, and it's going to ice up pretty quickly. Through the overnight hours, we are expecting to fall our air temperatures into the single digits and teens. And so all of that water that they're throwing on it will eventually freeze.
Oh, you can see it. You see it flowing down the street there?
Yeah.
It just shows you how much it is. It's like a little mini river.
Well, when the fire first started, we were looking at the windows up front, and we started to see explosions coming out from inside of the windows. And some of the images that I saw also on Google Maps showing that they have almost like these huge rugs that are leaned against those windows. So to think that there was such a big explosion on the inside that caused those windows to shatter and just throw everything everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes the fire department will do that on purpose. They'll break those windows. I don't know if they did today, but that's just, and there hasn't been any detonation or explosions by any stretch, but that once that stuff starts burning, it's not going to stop. It just really takes off. And now the facade, we haven't seen, it's not orange anymore. That's good.
For now, and hopefully it doesn't. And, and Heisel was talking about the rugs. They have lots of furniture. They have lots of bedding. They have lots of mattresses, lots of tables made out of wood. They have lots of chairs and dining room table sets that are made out of wood. A lot of things that, would
flammable.
Help a fire.
Yeah.
Encourage a fire, that is. But it looks like they have gotten it under control at this point, and that's probably you guys are looking at like 35 minutes.
Which should be incredible. This fire department is just spectacular. That they could sit and watch it, and then they get their plan in place. And dump water on it, and yeah, you're right.
They have a plan of attack because, of course, they know, and the fire department is in that area, so they know the businesses that they are working with and dealing with, so then they know the contents exactly, probably every business on that street, and they know how to attack the fire once they do an assessment, figure it out, and make sure everybody is out and safe.
You're right, and then this is great. So no flames. I don't see any flames right now. Now that could change. We'll get flare-ups, and maybe just behind that smoke, there might be. But
what's up, guys? No notifications.
Not long ago, it was
just hanging out tonight. Some type of furniture store up and burning. I figured I'd just jump on for a little bit, even though I have no notifications. Jump on for a little bit. It's a furniture store. It's called Elegant Furniture and Linen. Up in flames. I pulled up their Facebook page. That's the page right there. And it screams elegant to me. It does when I look at the store. Elegant furniture and linen, modern traditional French, bathroom accessories, area rugs, curtains, pillows, layaway available. These people across from me are so annoying. Up in flames. What happened? What caused the fire? Here's some video from inside. Oh, that looks nice, though. Okay. All right. Got couches, rugs, all kinds of furniture. How's those couches floating? What's going on? Got couches stacked on couches. What is this? What the? How are you supposed to try it out and sit on it? Okay. I wonder if it's like some used stuff in there. So that thing is burning.
Tonight, as we get more details from our crew on the ground, as well as I'm sure we'll get an update from CTA and likely CFD. The fire department is terrific about communicating with the media. That once they can give us some details, we'll certainly hear from them tonight.
And hoping that there are no injuries.
Right, that nobody was
got
in
out
there
safely. Again, based on the Facebook page, the store did close at 6 o'clock, and we started our coverage around 6:45 regarding this fire. So hopefully
it's pesky. There it is on the top again.
Yeah.
But not seeing in front anymore those roaring flames.
And how the store is decorated, if you will, is probably where the fire has to be concentrated. Certain parts or certain furniture parts or linen or mattresses that could be stacked where the rugs are, these flammable types of items that
it looked like once it got going, if there's a storage area or something, it was just erupting, and that's when we were really concerned in there. So you hope this will continue to drain. Look at all that water that's just going to go downstream, and they're putting a lot of water on it.
Let's take a look at why we started this.
Oh, thank you.
So, this was about 30 minutes ago when we started doing coverage.
My goodness.
It just erupted, and it was not burning like this for the first 5 or 10 minutes.
No,
burned in the
right?
air, and then
It
all
was
of
smoke.
a sudden, it just erupted, and you can see the flames pouring out of the front window, as well as it seems to be centralized in the center of the building.
That's
so
where we
don't
really
know
saw that.
where everything is located in the store and how the store is decorated, but it seemed to be centralized in that center part of that store. We have no confirmation of the store name, but based on the address that we pulled up and
Right.
the Google search, this is the information we believe is happening.
And it looked like it was definitely a functioning business, because at first we saw, we're like, okay, maybe this building is abandoned, maybe it's not inhabited, but it does look like it was a functioning business. Thanks for showing that video
Maybe the company
upstairs in our
themselves burned
control
it down.
room, because it really gives you a good idea of a few things, how bad this was, and also how the fire department is kicking some butt here now, getting it under control. And there you get a great angle of the ladders that are up as they're dumping.
So hold on. They posted this. Oh, this was 2023. New closeout specials. Stop by new closeout specials. Okay. They
Request to
haven't really
push
been
it
active. When was
back
the last time they posted?
into that building and not
March
side to side there
2024.
laterally, because not far away there we were looking, there's a couple businesses. Looks like they've maybe moved some people back just to be safe.
Yeah, but you can see the people in the business about.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's still open. They're just in there.
still open next to JB's
Oh, they're
there,
still-
and then you've
they
got
still
the
got
nail
business
salon.
working.
And
Yeah, there
then
is somebody
there's
right there.
one store in between. Not sure what kind of store that is.
Well, the fire department hasn't asked those folks to leave, so that is
Good sign.
Yeah, right. That means they don't think this thing is going to spread. They're not concerned about any sort of explosion.
Sure, gotta make that
You
money.
never know if there's gas lines
Fire
or power. And
sale.
even the power looks to still be on Michigan Avenue, so it hasn't tripped any power lines there. In the back of the building, though, it looked like there was some power lines. We'll have to make sure that doesn't
Oh, yeah, I met with the like button.
it doesn't
Yeah,
affect
thank you.
them. Oh, thank you. There. So there's the back of the building.
Rail. Got
And
147
boy, there's
likes. Come
just some
on.
homes on the other side there.
Need to help with the
Right there,
notifications.
In distance.
So this is the back alley, it looks like, on the other side of Michigan Avenue, where they've got firefighters also throwing some water down on it, and those look like some homes right there. They don't appear to be in harm's way, so that's good. They don't appear to be
Yeah, the lights are on.
maybe, wow, they just went out.
As soon as we just said that.
In the back there at least, so there might be some power outages in this area.
Yeah.
It's going to be closed for a long time. 112th and Michigan is roughly the area here. The fire department's not going to open this part of the street anytime soon.
It's a very busy corridor, and it seems like many of the restaurants and the stores, that old-fashioned donut,
The donut
that is
shop.
the historic donut shop
Is it?
right there. Very historic donut shop. The owner still works there at 96 years old.
How about it?
Like I said, that is a historical corridor. Oh my goodness, that donut shop is very close.
On the other side there of
Yes,
so it's
the-
right across the street from this.
The original owners still works there. He comes to work every day. He's 90 years old.
So that building looks to be, it didn't jump to the other side of the street, which is great. It looks to be contained to this one building, so that's promising. But, this business owner, and this is going to be a total loss. This building.
Old-fashioned donuts.
Maybe
It's
that's
right
why-
there.
maybe that's how they wanted it. Total
That's
loss.
11248, so it's
don't know.
exactly across the
Yeah,
street.
right across the street.
They've been in business.
Could've
The
been an
line
accident,
is
though.
long every day in the morning when you come out. So
Okay, so on the right
think.
is the video from earlier, not long ago, maybe 25, 30 minutes ago. That's on the right side of your screen. You see the super there, we call it, the words down there says video from earlier. And then on the left, that is live. And Chopper 7 has been above this for some time now. That gives you an idea of where we stand at this moment. It wasn't long ago on the right. We didn't know what was going to
East
happen
Coast.
here. We're concerned about it spreading as it just erupted in
Eating a burnt
flames.
donut.
Now we
Man.
don't see any. That doesn't mean there isn't any, because sometimes that dark smoke conceals the flames on the left side of your screen there. There we go. Yeah, there's some hot spots right there. And this will be the case for some time. Even though this is under control, and we say control, they have it contained, these hot spots will be something that the fire department will be battling for some time. That looks like ladder 24.
a year ago we were doing, because they got huge funding to extend the L train to 130th, and this is coming directly through this area to extend to a medical center that would be at the end. And all of the businesses here, many of them have been around for 30, 40, 50 years.
Generational.
Generational.
Yeah.
And Old Fashioned Donuts is right across the street. People are lined up in the morning, every morning. And like I said, the owner, he comes into work every day. I was trying to find out if I can give him a call to see if everybody is okay and to see if people are talking about it on social media. And
well, we're going to stay with this for probably about 5 more minutes or so as we get to the bottom of the hour. We want to continue to bring you this coverage. If you're just tuning in to our streaming, we had a streaming newscast. We always do from 6:30 to 7. But we've stayed on late here with you because we're watching this fire at 112th
JB
in
donated
Michigan.
$10 through Super
What we
Chat.
believe is a furnace.
Love to Yamel. Purple Heart.
Oh, thank you, JB. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Looks like they have the fire somewhat under control. It's just smoking up, and it's a furniture
Bonders.
store.
Ambulances
Burn it
that
up.
we've watched, none have pulled away. So Cheryl, you were talking about that. That
Burn
is
it up.
somewhat positive. We haven't seen, they'll send in for these multiple alarm fires. Standard procedure is just to send
25 months, too.
send a lot of ambulances as well as
here now.
firefighters. And it looks to be
they weren't racing
live
from the
here
scene
now.
in distress with
Are
the
you in
lights and
Chicago?
the sirens on.
No,
which is a
and
really good sign.
It went from smoke to flames so fast.
And it's still burning.
Yeah, I mean, it's really terrifying, and you see that, how quickly this can happen. And there's another flare up in the corner of the building, and it's going again pretty good. It was just smoke at first, and then within minutes, it was just pouring out flames, including out of the front of that. And there's the water coming out. Shows you how much they're pouring on this. A good distance away, that those trucks are across the street. Yeah, those guys are up there. It's got to be freezing between that wind and the water splashing around. We hope all the firefighters, all the men and women there fighting this, stay safe and try to stay dry. We haven't heard any reports of injuries, but now that's all going to freeze over.
I know. So Heisel, how is that going to work? That these puddles are accumulating around the area because it's a heavy water presence.
Remember the images we saw with water main breaks? That's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with as we go through the overnight hours. It will ice over. There are some cars parked right next to where some of that water is going downstream. So yeah, that is all going to ice over. Temperatures tonight are going to fall into the single digits and teens. Yeah, just a very, very cold night. And on top of that, just a very dry air as well. That's also what the firefighters are having to deal with. A little bit of a breeze, about 10 to 15 miles per hour, a temperature close to 20, but feels like temperatures in the single digits, and then a wind right around 10 to 15. We don't have any big gust of wind, which is a good thing, but there is still a little bit of a breeze around with that very dry air that is going to really impact those firefighters as they're trying to fight this fire.
Yeah, another flare up here in the front of the building. It's going pretty good again here. The part of the roof looks to have burned. There is always a risk of these older buildings of some of the facade collapsing inward or outward. So that's why the fire department, as you can see, is almost across the street. They're staying back. They want to make sure the firefighters stay safe and maintain some distance. But now it's going again. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Thanks.
Here we go. The new Church of Deliverance is at 112th and Michigan. I just got the invitation for the service. So there's lots of businesses. I remember doing a special on this area because they were trying to bring new businesses back into this community because it was once a bustling community. I know growing up for me on the south side, you would take the bus, the 95th Street bus, and then you would take that 112 Michigan bus that would take you to this bustling corridor, and they were trying to build up businesses back into this community because people had left this area and because they had gotten a grant to extend the CTA line all the way to 130th. You can see more businesses were starting. There's restaurants here that are very popular that people come into. It's a Thursday night, so some of the restaurants people would be coming to patronize the businesses, and they had to definitely reroute the bus route because that's a very busy corridor. It's rush hour and people were coming home from work. But you see a lot of the businesses had already shuttered with their security films. They're in front of the closed with their security doors.
Okay. We're going to stay with you now here. What you saw there in that split screen just a second ago, our ground crew is there. So they're going to get set up, but if we take that shot occasionally and it's a little bit shaky, that's because the photographer is got a couple things that he or she's got to do. I don't know who it is out there. They want to get set on the tripod, start getting us a better look from from the ground, and I think it'll be a good assessment of what it looks like from down there. But here, Chopper 7 above it, still at 112th in Michigan, I believe this furniture store. It's still burning. The flame's still coming out now of the front again.
Yeah.
They had it under control here. Yeah, there it is. It's coming out of the front facade again.
And you can, just to give you, if you all are listening and you know this area, the donut shop, the old-fashioned donut shop, is directly across the street from where this fire is happening. Mr. Bullock, he's been there for nearly 50 years at that location, voted the best donut shop, one of the best in the state of Illinois. And so that area, people would patronize lots of businesses in that area, and perhaps they had already gone there and maybe the stores were starting to close. So that may be a good thing that the area wasn't crowded with a lot of people. But definitely the bus routes have to be rerouted, because it looks like at least 6 or 7 blocks have been blocked off in that area trying to get to this fire. It's a safety and a precaution emergency situation here, because you think the fire is out and then it starts to ignite once again, a hot spot.
Yeah, I bet that happens on and off for a good amount of time tonight, because they get it under control, and then we believe there's a lot of furniture in there.
Yeah.
Mattresses, linens, rugs, bedding.
Wood tables and chairs.
Yeah, that's a fire.
Bed frames.
Chews it up. Firefighters do not. They don't like it. You don't want that stuff in there.
We've done so many fires at furniture stores.
Yeah, and they go.
And then they're still burning days afterwards.
Right,
as well.
right.
They think they've contained it, and there's a hot spot because the fires find their way into the contents of these stores.
I can see some crews now are arriving there on the ground. By crews, I mean some media. So I think here in a minute or so, we're going to get a great angle from about a half block away, but it will show you a few things. The fire department is maintaining its distance.
The
So there, the roof is gone in the front there.
The roof is gone, but the sign is still standing.
Yeah.
So
that brick, though, sometimes can start to.
These are old buildings. They've been
go.
around for a long time. Family businesses, generational businesses, as you said, Rob, right here on the street.
So they're staying back on the other side of the street. The fire department, obviously, they're trying to keep people back and safe as well. A huge response from the Chicago Fire Department. First responders there as well. I'm guessing ComEd will head down there. There will be a lot of response to make sure there is no risk of any sort of power outages or explosions. And Heisel had mentioned that maybe a potential explosion. What we were seeing, though, earlier wasn't that. It was the inferno. It's like rolling out of that front of that building. Here we go. I mean, it's the video from earlier on the right. It's hard to even imagine this thing's still standing, but it is. So that was when firefighters were assessing and trying to get a plan on this. And look at the difference. On the right is video from earlier, and on the left is where we stand now. And that front, those windows, there they are. They're breaking, I think, on the right there as that fire just took over the front of this business. And now it's going again in the front there. And
that's good reviews.
This is the first time we can see down in to see flames. So unfortunately, it looks like part of this building has collapsed, the front of the building at least.
Yeah, and the sign has been standing there. The sides of the building appear to be collapsing as well. If you're just joining us, to the right of your screen, if you're watching, that was video from earlier tonight when this flame was fully engulfed, plumes of smoke shooting into the sky. This was about 45 minutes ago when we started coverage of this fire, and at first we thought it was contained at some point, and then the hot spots seemed to keep popping up. But it is a furniture store. We believe, based on the sign that we saw,
I think it was it was certainly operating, right?
Elegant Furniture and Linen. And if you go to their Facebook page, it says they sell bedding, they sell rugs, they sell mattresses. We saw a sign.
Yeah, you had a keen eye there that there looked like there was a mattress for sale sign you put on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And if that was connected to the building, then that we know that there were definitely some beds in there, some mattresses, and that stuff burns quick. This is a great zoom in here from Chopper 7. Shows you those guys and gals up on the ladder and on the ground, and there's the businesses are
they
just kind of watching. Yeah, but they're
watching their own business to see if it's going to spread, or they're probably, their family. They
I was going to say, because you're
family.
You're familiar with this area, and these people all know each other.
Yeah, everybody
they all
is
work
family,
together.
and they know. If we went and
talked
talked to them right now, standing there, they're probably thinking they know everybody who works inside the store. They probably have purchased items from the store, and they've both patronized each other's businesses. And because it happened around 6:30, a lot of the businesses on that corridor seem to have closed at 6 o'clock.
Well, you never want to. I mean, as you mentioned, this is part of the city that is revitalizing. And as a fellow business owner, my goodness, the last thing you want to see is another business burning like this. And that's exactly what those people just a few stores down.
Okay, this might be the business has people standing out in front of it, unless this is an old picture. This is from July 2022. This building right here. So this is the Lee's. The nail salon is right there behind this tree. And then this is the building right here. Looks like this right here. I don't know what this is. Prom 22. Oh, what that? It does look like the same store. Selena Sealand Designs, SAG. Family reunion shirts, CD covers, backdrops, social club designs, bike club jackets, shoes, skates, and more. The nail salon and the balloon place, I guess.
There's light coming out of there now, and that just might be the flames. But now this building, when we finally get a look at this, I don't know that much is going to be left of that roof, because the front of that, and there's another hot spot in the corner. Yeah, and then it looks like some water's coming out from the building. So there's a new hot spot there in the back of this building, and now it's still burning in the front as well. Chicago Fire Department has multiple units that have responded to this. This is 112th in Michigan. This is a facility or a business that we believe was a furniture company. It sells a variety of things. And we believe it was closed, at least according to their website. It closed at 6:30. And then by the time we saw this and got on the air with you, it was closer to 7, about 6:45. And it was burning pretty good, and now it's doing it again.
So I just stepped away, Rob, to call the Alderman Beal, in that Roseland community. As I said, I interviewed him for a special about the revitalization of this corridor in this Roseland community. I just spoke with him.
Okay.
He said so far he's not hearing any injuries
good.
in that area, and he's paying very close attention. He's monitoring the situation very closely. He also said sometimes some of these buildings and companies use it as storage facilities, maybe for the company, but not necessarily if anybody might have been there at the time. So that might be.
Well, that would make sense for what we saw.
Yeah.
Great news. So I'm glad you have such great sources, and Alderman Beal is telling us he's not hearing of any injuries. Cheryl, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you talked to him.
Good news. I know I was concerned about that, and he said that so far he hadn't heard of anything, and he's really keeping in close contact with everybody.
Well, that would make sense about storage. I mean, in the back of these buildings, you may just have a little showroom, but in the back you have your stuff stacked up.
Right.
And if you only have a certain amount of square footage, that's where you keep your stuff.
You know, and if you have a mattress sale going on, you might be stacking them with mattresses because you want people to come in and buy just mattresses. So.
And that was where we saw the most flames at a little bit less than an hour ago, was in the middle of this structure. Now it's moved to the front, and it's just there's a little pesky hot spot still popping up, and it's just not quite done yet. But we hope that it's contained. The fire department uses different terms, but we do believe in some respects it is, because we're not seeing any other buildings. And there's the donut shop you were talking about.
Yeah, the old-fashioned donut shop, Mr. Bullock. I'm sure he's probably in that donut shop because he's the first one there and the last one to leave every day. and they close around 6 o'clock. And sometimes they stay open late when people want to get,
It might have said open. It might have had an open sign on it. Yeah.
I mean,
they might have,
a lot of businesses still, and the restaurants that are on that corridor are opening just for the evening, starting to bring in customers, for the evening dining hour. They're probably going to stay open depending on how far and how much, the smoke. People can smell the smoke.
It's dangerous. You got to be careful too. I mean, those firefighters have masks and oxygen, but people got to, yes, right. At least a half dozen lines on this now. And so the fire department is ready. It's battling now. Now it's on. You got 2 ladders in the air, at least 4 lines down there on the ground. On the right earlier.
And you can see what the firefighters are up against tonight.
And
it's cold outside, Rob. So, they've got that extra challenge trying to battle a blaze when the weather is in the 20s and the wind chill is even colder. It's rough. They have specific ways that they fight fires in, deep freeze weather like this. But I'm sure it's a challenge to put the fire out quicker because it's cold. And you've got to be concerned about the water pressure on the cold.
And it looks like that is not an issue, so that's good. Because you're right, you hear about frozen fire hydrants before, or something that would hamper their ability to fight it. It looks like they're getting enough water on it. But look at the difference there on the right there. That was just video from not long ago, maybe 35 minutes. And here's live now, 112th in Michigan. We believe this is a furniture store that has been burning now for some time.
Right. We think it's the Elegant Furniture and Linen because based on the address that we saw in the sign over the door.
Look at all those fire trucks. Wow.
Yeah. I have to say, 6 or 7 block radius, Rob, that they've got.
Well, and they're going to, even though we noticed some of the business owners that are allowed to stay in their businesses, they're just not going to let cars up and down. We haven't seen any cars at all. So, I bet you're right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks to make sure people stay away from this as they get a handle on it, which they have. So all the way down there, you see some Chicago police car, it looks like, keeping people, they're not going to let anybody down there. And we push in here, there's some of it looks like maybe some of the ambulances have left, so that is good.
That's a really good sign.
We were worried
and they weren't
at first.
Racing away.
Oh, here we go. Thanks, guys. Okay, so Sky Map's up again. There's 113th and Michigan Avenue. The line there, Michigan Avenue, is just to the left of that line. Right there. Now that's a great idea. You can see exactly where we are here. So we're kind of just southwest of this. Now we're kind of looking east from just to the west of Michigan Avenue. Right there in that corridor, there are a lot of businesses. Like you said, there are a lot of businesses down here on the south side.
And they, like I said, they were doing the revitalization project, so a lot of people were starting to move into that area. They're working on a medical center at the end of that line at 130th after they got the go-ahead, the green light, and the funds to start extending the CTA all the way out to there. And they wanted to bring Roseland back to its glory that it used to be when it had Goldblatt's over there and service merchandise.
Yes.
All of the, you recognize those stores. Yeah, I would get on the bus and save my money. And
OU Mad Matt said the area is called Roseland Kit. It's a very, very busy area. There are a whole lot of clothing and shoe stores. Okay, thank you.
You would get on that bus and the 112, I believe, and it would take you directly to that corridor. A very busy stretch.
And you could come up here too and downtown if you want, right? Or get in.
I'd hop on the L and do that.
Right.
Did you ever do that, Rob, when you coming in from the suburbs there?
How dare you.
It really, it's good to see that. The fire appears to be, there is containment, even though
I would agree.
We have.
And look at that. Yeah, they're pouring it into that front. And all that, those windows just broke. They just burned and broke. But now they're getting water in there. So that's good to keep whatever might still burn in the front of the building from catching fire. But now we got to worry about these hot spots in the back, because we don't know what else is in there, right? We were talking about, maybe Alderman Beal was telling you, there could be other stored merchandise back there.
It could be a storage facility for the Elegant Furniture and Linen Company.
I worry that that's what's going to happen here, that in the back now, because the firefighters they're going to stay back. They're not going in there just yet. They don't want to. They just need to be safe.
There's glass in there that could burst.
You could be, and you don't know what else is in there, and they'd rather fight this from outside, from above, and from across the street, because if everybody's accounted for, which we believe.
That was what I was going to say. If they've got intelligence on the fact that no one's inside.
Right, just now contain it.
There's no urgency to get inside, just fight the fire from a distance. So nobody gets hurt.
Right. And now the concern would be in terms of injuries, these firefighters.
Yeah.
But you can see all that water. And Heisel was with us earlier saying that remember in Skokie, they had that water main break.
Yes.
And then it just becomes like a sheet of ice. That might happen here in the next, layers.
Inches, and it can block the tires on the car. And
I don't think they'll be able to open up this part of Michigan Avenue. I mean, we get the thaw that's going to happen in the next few days.
Maybe
it could
on
not.
Sunday.
Yes, it could not happen at a better time, because that water will then obviously melt and then drain properly. But I don't think they're going to be able to open Michigan Avenue, not only because of this fire and they get they do the investigation, but because this is going to be a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
At least on part of the street. It's just that, it's not going to be safe.
And what about the other businesses? When will they be able? The old-fashioned donut shop that's located directly across the street.
There's a lot of talk about
I'm sure
the donut
they probably had their daily rituals. You go get your donut, then you go to your business and open up the security gate and start your day. That's really kind of the daily routines over in that Roseland community.
There's no doubt that he is going to be open if he can, and he's going to help the people of this community.
Yeah.
All these.
Knowing Mr. Bullock, he might be in the store right now getting donuts for the firefighters, trying to help them out, because that was the kind of person.
I knew there was an open sign.
See, that's the old-fashioned donut shop.
Are they eating donuts,
going inside? Yeah, it looks like they're going inside. Mr. Bullock, I'm sure, is in there. I'm going to look at my phone and see if I got his phone number and call him and check on him and see if everything's okay. But
those of you familiar with this part of town, like Cheryl, know exactly what she's talking about. A big staple of that area, 112th and Michigan.
I think it's probably ironic, maybe because they
those
recognize
other businesses too. They'll all come together.
The water.
That's how we roll in this city, and help each other out, and hopefully get open again sooner than later, so they can continue to operate their businesses in an area that needs it, in an area that is trying to grow, and as you mentioned, the L's trying to continue to go down all the way to 130th.
Yeah.
And this is an area that's very, very popular with a lot of people.
And busy.
Busy.
And you can get to it easily on the bus all the way from downtown. You can get on the bus and bring you all the way to that area.
So a very busy area. Oh, you mad said the scary thing is the stores are connected. Some stores are connected, and they even share restrooms through their back doors. Interesting. Well, the good thing is, looks like, there's still some type of smoldering, and it looks like for the most part they might have it under control.
And really, it's just great seeing that the ambulances have seemingly backed off. Some of them have left.
Some of them have left, right. They'll keep a few in case any firefighters get injured. But yes, there was at least half dozen of them earlier, and those appear to have left the scene, so that's good. But they'll keep a few to make sure. And so here we are in the back, like you were talking about. There's homes just behind this. Yeah, not far away now. Oh, great. So our coworker, Ravi Beshwal, is there.
Made his way south.
Yeah, terrific. Yeah. Thanks, Ravi. I know you guys came from downtown.
Yeah, in the rush hour.
Tell us what you're seeing and just kind of set the scene from the ground. We really haven't seen any ground shots, so your camera will be the first. We just saw as the photographer was setting up. Where are you at? Tell us what you see.
Well, yes, good evening to you guys. We're here at about 111th Place and South Michigan, and we're just north of the fire, this big furniture store. Let me actually step out of the way so you can get that ground shot right now. I'll get my photographer, Jose, to pan in there, push in. You can see the white smoke that is billowing out of what we understand to be a furniture store, as you guys have been so ably describing tonight. We have a lot of firefighters around. We have first responders. The street is pretty much, South Michigan Avenue is pretty much blocked from 110th going south, and you can see the big ladder up in the sky getting some water onto the flames right now. and we're just waiting for more information as to exactly what's happened here. But judging by the smoke that's coming out of it, obviously we don't see a lot of flames right now, but it has been knocked down from what we saw about an hour ago. They've been on site, as you've been saying, for about an hour working on this, and in fact, I have actually with me right now, come on in front of the camera right here, Larry Langford from the Chicago Fire Department is with us. Larry, good to see you, and on this cold night, your men and women are working so hard. Tell us the latest.
Well, just that we did have one injury here. Firefighter was transported over to University of Chicago. The news is he's in good shape.
Thank goodness for that.
Same thing. There was a May Day, so that's what we're most concerned about. He'll be fine. We'll have one of the deputy commissioners come over and give you a complete fill on the fire itself, but that's the main thing I wanted to let you know. He's okay.
Okay, great. Was it a serious injury that he sustained?
No, not serious. Not serious.
And what's the status of the fire? What can you tell me right now in terms of where it's at?
It's still burning. It's still flame. You can't see it, but they're still attacking the fire right now, and they'll continue to do that for a while.
All right. Well, our thoughts go out to that firefighter. We'll get more information on him when it becomes available. But anybody else injured? Anybody else involved here?
No other injuries. We'll have a complete fill for you in just a few minutes.
Okay. That's Larry Langford from the Chicago Fire Department. You got it right from the source right there. So we do have one injured firefighter. He is going to be okay, but the fire's still going right now, and we'll look for some more official information coming from Chicago Fire Department probably in just a few more moments. But for now, it's a very active scene here down on South Michigan Avenue. Back to you guys in the studio.
Terrific. Thank you, Ravi. That's new.
So much. And we were talking about the challenges for the firefighters, how we got injured. We're not sure, if it was weather related or.
Well, you hear a Mayday call, my goodness, and you initially hear, that's a firefighter in distress.
Kicked out of the
tell by Larry's demeanor, the firefighter is going to be okay. So that's new, thanks to Ravi and Jose Sanchez on the ground. They're getting us some new shots, which really help kind of paint the picture. They're at the scene. I mean, the chopper can give you a great idea of that. It's incredible. You get an aerial of it, but now we know one injury, just a firefighter, and I don't mean just. I mean no people, no civilians, but one firefighter injured.
Larry said he's going to be okay.
Taken to the hospital.
I did see a stretcher, Rob, on the side there.
They had him there to make sure,
level.
right?
So they were prepared for it, just in case anything. And I'm thinking about the firefighters as well. They have warming centers, or there's a big van or a bus, so that the firefighters can warm up, because fighting a blaze like this magnitude in the cold presents its own set of challenges.
Yeah, and we're not out of the woods yet. These brave firefighters are still there. That video on the right is from earlier, and it was just going. The video on the left is live, so that's where things stand right now. Obviously, these firefighters are going to be here for a while, and their work is far from done, and it is still very dangerous. And they're up on those ladders and also on the ground. We got to make sure that they're okay as well, and we're sending them our best and hope they continue to stay safe as they fight this fire. You could also tell from Ravi's ground shot there was the Chicago police. I could see a couple City of Chicago employees. So there's a big response here to make sure that we get the right information out there to the public. And Larry had said we'll probably get a commissioner to come and update us. They got to make sure that this is the priority, though. Right. Once they get this at least under control, they'll give us a good up. Look how close that ladder has now moved across the street.
I mean, it was far back to Fresh Image and back to SNYX and the stores there. It was further back, closer to the storefronts.
And they're moving. It's got to be cold up there. You're getting mist. You're getting smoke. They're incredible.
And all of that smoke is
doing incredible work.
And furniture burning is hard intake. That's very different. And the good thing when Ravi talked with Larry Langford, it was good to see Larry seemed calm.
Right.
And like the firefighter, reassuring.
They always are, right?
The firefighter is going to be okay. So we appreciate that message for sure.
Oh, these men and women who go up there and do this and put their lives in danger, just I can't you can't appreciate it enough. Yeah, and they're there. I mean, look at the smoke. The smoke has almost shifted a little, because now they'll pull that ladder back on the bottom there to make sure that, and they have oxygen. They're all usually have an oxygen mask that they can wear. But this is I don't know if there's a wind speed change.
Up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's pushing that smoke into the street now. And that it wasn't doing that before.
No.
So this is now just a little bit of a development.
It's heavy.
Yeah, look at that. And it was going the other way before.
Yeah. So maybe there's, maybe it's something very specific in there that's ignited.
Doesn't it? I agree with you. Doesn't that look like new?
Excessive plumes of smoke.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it appears to be very different smoke than it was when it was at the middle part of the structure.
Yeah. Do we have Ravi's camera at least to just take to see? Okay, Ravi's doing some interviews for us, getting some reaction down there and talking to nearby business owners and also the fire department. So they're busy doing that. It's fine. We have a great shot from here to be able to monitor. But that the smoke shift there. And that was not, we have not seen that. It was usually coming toward this, and the chopper's moving around. So, but that wind was blowing toward this direction.
Getting all angles, which is really good.
And now it's kind of moving around a little bit.
And just a testament to, Rob, how old and quality built these buildings are. That sign is still up.
Yeah.
It hasn't collapsed. The front, actually the square part of the entire building is still up. It seems like the contents, the innards, are the ones that are still on fire. The front of the building,
the innards.
It's still, it's still there. Based on if you see this extraordinary fire on the right, and the sign is still up there.
That's what we were watching.
An hour into fighting this fire, more than an hour into fighting this fire, because we're approaching the 8 o'clock hour, and we started our coverage at about 6:40. On this, right after we had the live coverage at the Cook County Jail, and now we moved here, and we've been on the air since about 6:40 talking about this fire, and it's gone through several phases.
It really has.
It was, we thought it was a mild fire, and then now all the way to we found out there was a Mayday call out, but that firefighter is going to be okay, and it is numerous fire, trucks are here.
Yeah.
Because it's taken that many. We can see a little bit of that fire to the left there. It looks
there
like
it is,
it's about
flaring
to pop
again.
back up.
And now we can't even see the front of the building from that smoke. So something clearly has ignited again. Pull those guys back. They're wow.
Ooh.
We thought that was done. That was it looked like it had burned out, and here we go again. Wow. So something has ignited. In the front, and obviously the back is a concern too, and you can see there's a little flare up, and that's kind of the top
on the side, Rob, next to where we were saying there wasn't the concern. There was space between the side of the building and the next building that would be close to it.
Yeah, and we know it's hard to see here, but we both noticed that there's some space on either side of this building. That may prove to be a godsend, because if it was just a building over, we could be looking at a whole block of burning, and luckily we're not. We've just got this contained to one furniture store, and it is just not given up.
I always say timing in inches.
You're right.
Really, and had this been during the day versus during the night, the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour, when the buildings and businesses began to close, it made all the difference, on both sides, because the flames were really moving, because it was windy, not extraordinarily windy, but it was good. There was some wind, wind chill was being calculated.
Yeah, and Heisel said 10 miles an hour or so. Okay, this ground video, this is from earlier, Tim? Okay. So on the right here now, we've got some what we call ground shots. This was just a few minutes ago. Ravi and his crew on the ground now, feeding this back to us. And it shows you just how many firefighters are there, number one, how they're staying back, and that smoke, wow. It's hard from the air to see, look at that haze. It's just a haze of smoke. For all those people, and unfortunately for all the people who live around there too, it's you got to be careful, because that smoke can be really dangerous. And from the ground there now, you see just how thick it is. There's a lot of smoke. And there now we're seeing that side, Cheryl, that we're looking at. We don't want that. That's
like to the back of the building. It had started, Rob, it seemed about 6:40. It seemed to be centered in the center, the middle of the building. Okay. Great.
So Tim just told us.
Our producer, he said that Ravi has now just interviewed the owner of the Elegant Furniture and Linen.
Okay, let's check it out.
Okay.
So let's talk. Let's hear what he has to say. Good thing the fact that he's doing an interview is a good sign.
Here we go. We haven't heard anything yet, so let's listen with you.
Burning inside the building.
Was in the store, and we hear like sound loud. in the basement. I go to the basement, was a smoke. I can't go down. I call the fire department, and not 5 minutes they come in. And the fire starts crazy. Wow. And we run away. We have 3 workers and me and my wife.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
See, he's saying exactly what we saw.
Right.
It was just smoke for a minute, and then boom.
The fire department there in minutes. You can hear the anguish in his voice.
Yeah.
He's going to lose his business here.
Wow.
And we're thinking about him and his wife, and it sounds like he said in the basement of this building they saw smoke, and then they got out, which is the right thing to do. They got out and they're okay, but his business obviously is not. There's supposed to be a news conference starting. Has it started yet, guys? It's just about to? Okay, not quite. So as soon as that starts, we'll go to it and listen with you to what they have to say about this. But some new information just in the past few minutes. If you're tuning into us, we're live streaming. Cheryl and I have been on the air now for about an hour and a half. We're not planning on going anywhere yet because we're getting a lot of new information. There was a Mayday call, according to Larry Langford, for a firefighter, but that was the firefighter's okay. Taken to the hospital as a precaution, but firefighter Larry said so it was a man. The firefighter is okay, is going to be fine, so that's good.
It's always good and comforting when the spokesperson for the Chicago Fire Department comes forward and lets us know there was a Mayday. And then the second thing he says is the firefighter is going to be okay. Because these fires can get out of control very quickly. We just heard from the owner who said he simply saw smoke in the basement. He called the fire department, and quickly him and his wife got out of the building.
Got out, and I think a co-worker too, or he said another employee got out. The news conference, we're told, is about ready to start. Let's listen in right now.
My name is Brian Helmold. I'm a deputy fire commissioner with the Chicago Fire Department.
Tell us what happened.
All right, today at approximately 6 o'clock, we got a call for a still alarm. It's an initial report of a fire in a structure. On arrival, the battalion chief standing next to me arrived on the scene. He recognized what he had as in a commercial building. It was initial reports there's people in the building. He witnessed people in the building, so the fire department went into full aggressive interior attack mode. We had potential victims at risk here. It's a dangerous structure, being a commercial structure. We had to ended up going to the seat of the fire, immediately going in. It's a furniture facility. So when they made entry into as they were doing their primary search in the basement while they were trying to get the fire under control, we had what we would describe as a flashover. We had at that time, the chief called for a Mayday. He had members turned around in the basement. We had one member that was missing. We were able to pull out everybody but the one guy. He activated RIT. RIT came to the door. RIT is a standby company that comes in and helps rescue our own people. These guys were doing a tremendous job getting in an aggressive attack because we had reports of people in the building. Under normal conditions in a commercial building, we wouldn't make an interior attack. Because it was occupied, we made that aggressive attack. These guys were risking everything to get in there. When this conditions changed and the flashover occurred, we had one member that didn't make it out. He called a Mayday. He activated his fast alarm, called for a Mayday, and that's a testament to the training. Our RIT team was activated right away. The battalion chief escalated the alarm to the 211 from the Stone box, and we brought in the team. The team was able to rescue that member and get him to safety.
And what's his condition last you heard?
His condition last I heard is he's in good condition. He'll be released from the hospital. Thank God for that. It's a testament to the training and the excellence of the members that were operating here on the fire department.
Tell us what the pass alarm does.
Pass alarm is alarmed as an audible alarm. He's got a radio and a pass alarm. Audible alarm, it sets out a tone that makes a loud beep and it flashes. That's how we located the member. His pass alarm was going off. That's what we're trained to do, activate that pass alarm if you're missing. He activated that pass alarm. The RIT team was able to identify where he was located. A pretty quick removal of him. Then when we pulled him out, the whole building erupted in flames right after he got out.
Wow.
Then we escalated the alarm. We pulled everybody away from the building. we had reports that there was nobody left in the building. No civilians left. The fire personnel was removed. Then we went into a defensive operation where we set up the aerial towers for water as we fight the fire from a safe distance and from above the building.
What's the status of the fire right now?
Status of the fire is still being brought under control. You've got an old structure with, these old structures with all the heavy timbers and wood that they're put together with. It's going to take quite some time. It also has a heavy fire load. One of the more dangerous fires that you could go to is in a commercial building with mattresses and furniture, because that's all very flammable. That's why you see that intensity of that fire. You also see the conditions change on the fire crews. When the chief originally arrived on the scene, he had light, smoke, and the conditions changed rapidly. As we were in there doing our primary search, looking for victims, trying to get that fire under control, that flammable furniture, mattresses all ignited at once. That flashover.
So can you describe, is that the flashover?
That's the flashover.
What that means?
That material is all synthetic. It's petroleum based. Once that you bring in that rush, because it's cold, that building's heated, it's going to draw that cold air in. That's going to help push that intensity of that flame, and that's what you saw here. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you either. Do you think you'll be out here for hours?
Oh yeah, we're going to be out here probably most of the night. We're going to probably have to have a wrecker come tear the building down. The building was a total loss, and the building is deceiving. It looks like it's double the size in the back because
Oh
the
my
back
gosh.
is
Something else.
probably
I'll tell
10
you guys
feet
in a
lower.
minute.
So it's like 3 stories in the back, 2 stories on the front.
Is that where most of the fire was then? The lower part?
Yeah, the fire was in the lower area in the rear of the building.
Yeah. And again, except for your firefighter, nobody else was injured. as far as-
Nobody else was injured because of the quick action on the department. Everybody was evacuated out of the building, tried to get into that area where the fire was to do a primary search. That's when that flashover took place. We got one member to the hospital. He's being evaluated. He was ambulatory on the way out. Minor injuries at this time.
How proud are you?
I'm so proud of this department. You can't, and the commissioner, all the command staff, this is where it pays off. When things that could have gone a lot worse, actually, we have a pretty good result here. It's the excellence of these battalion chiefs, these company officers, and the members operating on the scene that take this training very seriously and the job very seriously.
And it appears it started in the basement.
It appeared to be on that basement level, but that's all under investigation. All five will come out and make a determination. They'll have to pick through this, but that's where the initial attack went in. Thank you.
And how many crews do you have on scene right now? How many firefighters do you have?
We got over 100 firemen on the scene. We got 15, 20 fire apparatus. It's cold weather, so it's tough. We're trying to make sure that we got rigs standing by in case we have a problem with ice on the other rig. So we're in good shape.
And your name is spelled again. And the fire hydrants work properly?
Yeah, the fire hydrants work well. We got the water department here. We got a
Not
great
Kelly. It's not
coordination and cooperation from all the city agencies. CTA's out here with keeping our members warm. We've got the gas company on the electric company cutting the gas off to make it safe. We've got the water department. They're here with the steam truck. 2 thumbs up for the city of Chicago.
Your name, sir?
My name is Brian Helmold.
Spell your last name?
Last name's Helmold. It's on the back of my coat. When I walk away, you can see it.
These firefighters, I'm telling you, Cheryl, just in good spirits.
Yes.
A wealth of information
Yes.
there. Let's get you up to speed on what we just heard. Remember we were talking when we watched those flames going up. We're like, we think they're just fighting it from the outside.
Right.
And we just found out they weren't.
They weren't. And
No.
one of the firefighters was injured. A mayday was called, and that happened when there was a flashover that happened.
Yes.
Now, a flashover, Rob, is the rapid ignition of combustible materials,
Which we knew,
including
yeah.
furniture,
Right.
in an enclosed space.
Oh,
So this was
goodness.
perfect conditions for a flashover. But the Deputy Fire Chief Helmold said that the training that they do to protect and to rescue firefighters on a mayday came in handy because the fire was intense and they checked, and one of the firefighters was missing. They went back.
And they found him.
That's when the Mayday was called.
And he activated, so they also wear an audible alarm on their jacket or their vest. So that firefighter activates that, and that rescue crew goes in, got him out, and they said he's going to get released from the hospital tonight. So that the flames we saw live on the air, that was likely happening at that moment when that firefighter was in there. And you just heard the deputy fire chief say that the training worked. It worked. And so they were able to, and the reason they went in to the building is because they didn't know at the time if there were other people in there.
Right, and they were searching for other people, and because the owner called and said that the smoke was seen in the basement area, they went down to check and see, and they weren't sure where everybody was when the owner called. Over 100 firefighters, 16 to 20 apparatuses on the scene at this hour, and it's all paying off. We talked about the warming centers, the CTA, of course, providing buses for these
them warm.
firefighters.
They need it, and so there on the right is what we're talking about, and this was the flashover, or not shortly after that they got out after this happened. And got that firefighter. It's just incredible to me that they don't hesitate to go in there when this thing is burning because they think other people, civilians, Chicagoans, are in there.
Going to save a life because that's what they're sworn to duty to do.
Don't hesitate.
And like you said, Rob, the system that they do to alert each other that someone is missing, someone needs help, that worked tonight.
It worked.
That worked.
Huge. Huge.
I mean,
so that's what we know about the Mayday. That firefighter's okay. The building's a total loss. He had mentioned wreckers will come in, and that might not be tonight. He said they're going to be there probably all night because those hot spots will go up.
Because he talked about furniture store fires. They have the tenders that are burning. This one, he says, the deputy fire chief saying it was petroleum based. We saw on the curb there a sign that mattresses were on sale, and the deputy fire chief said there were lots of mattresses inside. The good news, the fire hydrants were working great, even in this cold weather.
Huge.
So that was very helpful. It was an intense fire, and they really had to attack it strategically.
And it's still going there. You can see some of those hot spots. And this was interesting too because it's harder to see from a Chopper 7, but he had mentioned it's almost 2 stories in the front and then 3 in the back, and it kind of goes down. And that's where the owner, who talked to Ravi, said he saw smoke or smelled smoke coming out of the basement. And that's when I think they went in and tried to make sure everybody was out okay. I'll tell you what, Cheryl, it could have just been a much worse story.
I was thinking
tonight.
just that.
It would be. It could have been much worse, but this is where we stand. Those hot spots are going to be burning for a while. Here's our plan. It's 112th in Michigan. A furniture store is erupted in flames, and it's still going here, right? But we are told a Mayday call. The firefighter not seriously injured, and the business owner is out. About as good as it can go after flames like this.
And no one inside, no employees were injured. The owners, you can always replace a structure and the contents, but a life you cannot. The firefighter, a Mayday, it could have been a different story on a cold night tonight, but it's the best we can take.
What a busy stream for us. If you're watching us and you don't normally, we stream together from 6:30 to.
Well, I got a short stream. I want to do another stream for you guys, if we can, on a little different topic. It's not going to take long, but so it looks like the fire is subdued, controlled for the most part. Let me just get this little thumbnail ready to go. I already made it. Not sure which one I like more, though. Not sure yet, or even title. I did laugh about something. When I take it to the other stream, I'm going to tell you what I laughed about. I guess I'll go with this title. Hang on, don't leave, don't run, don't run. I got something else in store. I think it's too busy. Maybe it's too busy. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's better. Yeah, it's a little too busy. Use the one without all the mess. All the mess. Okay. I'm gonna set the stream right now. Let's do another one. A little short one though. It's not gonna take long. Hang out for a little bit more. Boom, boom, boom. All right, chat, run away. Go, go, go. Let's see, man. Let's see, bro. No, 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 no. Okay, we're gonna redirect you guys. Where is it? Elon Musk's other baby mama is begging for his attention on X. Begging. And he's not replying. And she's saying they have a emergency medical health condition. What is going on? So we're going to cover that for a little bit. Let me just give you the link in case you don't get transferred over. Give me just like 2-3 minutes